Hello, Namaskar, this is CVR English and you are watching the Power Talk with me, Anukriti Sharma. Before we get into the show, let's take a look at the headlines first. CISF personnel have been deployed at the RG Kar Medical College and Hospital in all the shifts. Supreme Court advises doctors to end the strike. AIIMS doctors ended 11-day strike on Thursday, but furious demonstrations continued. PM Modi received a warm welcome in Poland. Indian diaspora expressed satisfaction. Ukraine awaits visit of Indian Prime Minister. The visit is significant because KYIV and some Western capitals had reacted sharply to Modi's visit to Russia. The Congress party is demanding SEBI chairman's resignation. Also, JPC probe into the Adani issue. The world today is pressed for sources of energy or power. The world's non-renewable sources of energy are depleting at a drastic rate, and on top of that, we are fighting another challenge: climate change, global warming. Sustainable energy is the key to transition to a new energy model capable of addressing three global challenges: environmental conservation, energy security, and socio-economic development. To understand what sustainable energy is, it is important to keep in mind that sustainable energy and renewable energy are two terms that are closely related, but the concept of sustainable energy also implies that it should be consumed efficiently while being affordable. And to discuss this matter in further detail, as promised, joining us today at CVR English Newsroom live is Shri Badrinath Ji. Shri Badrinath Ji is a retired government official. He is also the Secretary General of UFarwas, or United Federation of Residential Welfare Associations in Hyderabad, with over 5,000 gated communities, and a member of Korwa, or the Confederation of Residential Welfare Associations across the country, with more than 50,000 gated communities, and PICA, or Parents India Children Abroad. We welcome you, sir. Before we start our show tonight, we want to welcome you. आपका हमारे शो पे बहुत-बहुत स्वागत है, बद्रीनाथ जी.
Namaste all my dear brothers and sisters.
Sir, before we start the show, just a bit of context here for all our viewers. Shri Badrinath Ji feels passionately about sustainable green energy production through the use of renewable sources of energy and effective waste management. And we want to play a special video here. Let us take a look at this special video which is playing right next to me. This video explains his vision of Swachh Telangana, Swachh Hyderabad with effective waste management systems in place. Let's take a look at this video. This is a special video which is being played, which showcases Badrinath Ji's special vision about how to bring about effective waste management, not just in Hyderabad, but in the entire state of Telangana, so that we can have Swachh Telangana with clean conditions to live in, hygienic conditions for all the residents and the citizens of Telangana. This is the long term and the broad vision of Badrinath Ji, to have a clean and green Telangana where residents can live comfortably and peacefully. This is a video, not just a video, but his vision, which is being shared with our viewers of CVR English today through this video. And now, let's get back to the Power Talk with Shri Badrinath Ji. Once again, we welcome you back to the show, sir. CVR इंग्लिश के न्यूज रूम में आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है सर।
Thank you very much, madam.
Sir, I want to jump right into the focus of my power talk with you. Effective waste management in Telangana. How can we bring about effective management, recycling, and the disposal of waste that is generated in Hyderabad and Telangana every day, sir?
Madam, now day by day our population is increasing, especially in Hyderabad 2021 census. Our population is 1 crore 10 lakhs, and every day we are generating 8,000 metric tons of waste. So, in this, by recirculating and generating, we are producing 168.37 million units of power and 17 lakhs cubic meters of gas from our municipal waste. Remaining, we want to convert the solid waste, dry waste, like that, and in gated communities, just like, because 70% of population in Hyderabad are living in gated communities, villas and colonies. So from our flat owners association, we are implementing recycling of this waste management, madam.
Oh, very nice. This is a very constructive and a very forward thinking process which you have adopted, Badrinath ji, because I totally agree with you that a vast majority of Hyderabad is now living in gated communities indeed, and waste management is also simultaneously a big issue in a big metropolitan like Hyderabad. So this approach which you are following, this forward thinking approach which you are following is indeed necessary, not just for Hyderabad, not just for Telangana, but I think for the entire country as well.
Yes, madam. The
Sir.
importance of,
Yes, sir.
tell me, madam.
So you were saying something.
Yes, importance of skill development to promote recycling and a circular economy in the waste management sector.
Very true.
Refurnishment of e-waste, batteries and waste materials.
How we can
Challenges.
efficiently reutilize the waste for, again, production of energy and power, because we see so much of waste go into the oceans, which leads to, again, a lot of pollution of different kinds in the environment. It is important to recycle this waste intelligently for further energy production.
Yes, madam, because challenges are many: lack of infrastructure for recycling and waste management, limited awareness among business and consumers, and the need for clear regulations and incentives to encourage circular practices, madam.
Very valuable insights shared by you on that front, sir, which brings me to my next question. If we talk about effective water management, because we are talking about energy production, we are talking about energy production from renewable sources of energy. So let's talk about water. If we talk about effective water management, because water is a highly precious resource in itself, water is also used to produce power and energy. How can we employ rainwater harvesting for effective water harvesting and production of energy, sir, in Hyderabad?
In gated communities, we are implementing rainwater harvesting first to regenerate water levels in the ground. So recycling of water, wastewater by STPs, that we are using for gardening and cleaning of floors.
Right.
See, one good news I am telling you, madam. I am staying in Green Grace apartments. It
Oh,
is
lovely.
awarded a Green India Award in 2023 by Government of India.
Wonderful.
See, up to now we saved 1 crore 10 lakh rupees towards water charges. For last 4 years, we are not paying even a single rupee to government.
I think this is
We
something
enrolled for
which the viewers should be listening to very intently right now. Sir is sharing a very valuable piece of information here, and everybody in Hyderabad should be paying close attention.
we saved, madam, because of recycling of water and water harvesting and minimizing uses by fixing water meters in every flat. So, and also we enrolled for free water scheme from government. So we are saving money for last 4 years.
Wonderful. That is a wonderful feat. It is a very praiseworthy accomplishment by you and your initiatives that have been taken by you and your entire organization, sir. Nothing is possible alone. It is the entire collaborative effort of your organization towards this noble cause of water sustainability, water conservation, and production of green energy through water. It is a wonderful initiative. Sir, moving on. What about renewable or green sources of energy, sir? Can we employ them for effective and not just effective, but long-term sustainable power generation in a large state like Telangana? Can we use it in the long term?
Yes, madam. By segregating from waste, we can produce power. From dry wet waste, we can produce compost, and we are selling that compost. Even for this STP water also we are selling, madam. So by that we are generating revenue to our society. And also by installing our solar energy system, solar water heating system, solar lighting, we are saving energy.
Sir, these days I am watching that a lot of people are employing these solar panels on their rooftops, which basically harnesses solar energy and uses it for the production of power for day-to-day use. Can you throw some more light on the solar panel usage so that many more people in Telangana can become aware of this innovative way of energy production?
Fortunately, the government is giving 70% subsidy on solar installation panels to houses. And also, we are requested the MP lads and MLA lads. So from there also, we are getting 10 to 20% amount. So only by spending 10% of total capital expenditure, we are getting 100% of solar heat, solar power, and we are within the amount, means ours is 450 flats gated community. See, within 280 or 270 kWh we are managing, and we are selling the remaining power to the department, and in we are saving money.
So the citizens of Telangana need to realize that the non-renewable sources of energy are depleting in the world at a drastic rate. They're also, the consumption of such non-renewable sources of energy is also leading to problems, global problems such as climate change and weather change. The climate is changing, there is global warming. Citizens now need to become more and more aware and proactive in the usage of renewable sources of energy such as solar power, which Badrinath ji was just talking about. Sir, moving on, with your experience in cyber crimes and handling cyber crimes in a big metropolitan like Hyderabad, sir, these days it is all over the news. Cyber crimes are all over the news in Hyderabad, not just Hyderabad, be it New Delhi, Kolkata, Bangalore, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, any state. Cyber crimes are on a dramatic rise. What effective measures can be implemented to curb these crimes that are becoming rampant in this city, sir? What can we do to decrease cyber crime rate in Telangana?
Madam, last 2 years, nearly 17 crores in gated communities, the people lost money. So we started enlightening the people about the cyber crime. Recently, in my apartment, one senior citizen who is a retired bank employee lost 60 lakhs. So that golden hour, immediately we complained to cybercrime station, and we withhold that money, and he saved that money. A 67 years old man. So after that, every week we are conducting awareness classes in gated communities about cyber crimes, what to do and not to do in societies by using these smartphones while transactions.
Sir, speaking of smartphones, oftentimes we get these suspicious, shady text messages or WhatsApp messages from unknown sources where they ask us to click on a particular link, or maybe there is a numerical link which is present and they ask us to click on that. Although we understand that we should not be clicking on any such links, sometimes by mistake, if somebody happens to click on that link, it could be a phishing attempt, it could be a hacker trying to get access to the phone, or it could be a hacker trying to get some virus installed into the phone. So how can we protect and safeguard ourselves if by mistake we end up clicking on some suspicious links?
Yes, madam, even if we do wrong things by mistake, unfortunately, if we will enter into cyber fraud, there are golden hours, madam. Within 3 to 4 hours, if we will complain direct or lodge a complaint in website, immediately they will block that transaction. So we can save money.
So which
Like
website
that-
are we talking about here? On which website we need to complain within 2 hours or as soon as possible?
1931 number, madam, and I will share you the details.
Okay, sir. Sir, of late we
Yes.
are also listening about one more innovative way in which people, fraudsters and scamsters are trying to fool people. They make fake calls to people and tell them that their SIM card is going to be blocked because somebody has used their SIM card details or their Aadhaar card details to make illegal phone calls or send illegal SMSs to people, and a complaint has been launched against the holder of that particular SIM card. And they threaten the people by saying that your SIM card will be blocked in the next 2 hours if you don't call on a particular number at a particular police station. The afraid innocent person, the innocent citizen of India, calls on that number, and from there a video conferencing starts where a person dressed up like a policeman sitting in a setup which looks like a proper police station tries to threaten the person by saying that you will be facing dire consequences if you don't report to the police station, if you don't pay money to us, if you don't pay bribe to us, if you don't do this, if you don't do that. So this innocent person is compelled and pushed and forced into performing many illegal activities through which these scamsters try to extort money from the innocent man or the innocent woman. Such crimes are also on the rise these days, where SIM cards and Aadhaar cards are being used. Can you throw some light on such crimes, sir?
Madam, as a uniform officer, I am telling you, madam, we should not fear first. Whenever call is there, straight away we have to give a straight answer to them. First, let it be from it is a department. Let the department come, or let them serve a notice. There some procedural doing the things, madam. We cannot afraid. We should not give answer to them. They will show that police officer on the screen. They will threaten. They will ask first, are you alone? Or other persons are there? Are you sitting in the room? Where is your bank? Like that they will ask, madam. we should not answer the questions for their questions. And also, with recklessly, we have to give straight away strong answer to them. And we should not fallen into their their organization. Means 3 or 4 people. One is police officer, other is a customs officer, other is a cyber crime. Like that, they will 3 or 4 members, a group they will call, and they will try to people to fallen in their views. So we have to stop that.
This is a very strong message which you are giving out, very insightful, very valuable knowledge points which I feel that the citizens of not just Hyderabad but across the country should be aware of, that we should not fear. There should not be any fear. There are certain legal procedures and protocols in place which the government has designed. So education is empowerment. We should educate ourselves about these laws, like sir said, and we should not fear such fraudsters and scamsters who try to extort money from us in these manners. So that was a very strong message by Badrinath ji to everybody. I hope our viewers at CVR News are listening to this strong message. Sir, my last question to you today. Of late, we keep listening to news about drug peddlers in Hyderabad. These drug peddlers being arrested in Hyderabad with tons of psychedelic drugs like ganja or marijuana. The rate at which the youth of Telangana is consuming these drugs is alarming. And it is very alarming and disturbing, especially for their families and their parents. And this also, in turn, is leading to a dramatic rise in the crime rate. Crime rate, especially against women of our city. What practical measures, sir, would you suggest to curb and monitor the illegal activities of these notorious drug peddlers in Hyderabad, sir?
Madam, unfortunately, the youth now, because of media and these latest cell phones, they are fallen Western. They are following the Western culture, and these drugs are entered in India. Already, European countries are suffering a lot because of these drugs.
Absolutely.
Now, just now, it is started in India. See, in Hyderabad, drug abuse and illicit trafficking is going on. So, in colleges, schools, through our gated communities, we are giving special coaching classes, or in communities on Sundays, we are conducting classes to youth and enlightening them to be away from drugs.
That's a very constructive social step that you and your organization is taking, sir. So what other measures can we take as a society, as a collective society, as a whole, to ensure that not just the youth, but adults also understand the ramifications and the negative repercussions of the long-term consumption of these drugs? Because, sir, we see that it's not just the college students, but also the adults who are consuming these drugs. For example, I can quote several examples from across the country where people in their 40s, 50s and 60s who have high pressure jobs, jobs which demand a lot of performance from them, high demand, high pressure jobs. Out of pressure, these people have this compulsive desire to consume these drugs to relieve their mind and their body of some stress. So apart from the youth, even the adults are consuming these drugs. What other measures can we adopt so that they can understand that long-term consumption of these drugs is going to eventually harm their body and their mind?
Madam, because no proper supervision over our children. Previously, in olden days, nuclear families or joint families are there.
Joint
Now
families,
nuclear
yes.
family, in joint family, someone will watch the behavior, the movement of children.
Our
Now nuclear
grandparents
family,
were there to
father
guide
and
the
mother
grandchildren.
have jobs. And also, madam, is to get temporary happiness because of stress, competitiveness. Students and youth are day by day they are discouraging and they are falling, addicting drugs. See, a baby smiles in a day 10,000 times, whereas a adult will smile 10 times hardly nowadays. And four happy hormones are serotonin, dopamine, endorphin, and oxytocin. See, flooded of dopamine into skin, temporarily happiness, and they will enjoy, and they will be addicted for drugs.
Totally understand, sir. Very valuable points shared by you. We need to understand that drugs are not a long-term solution. They only provide a short-term boost of happiness or a bolt of happiness, and this can be very addictive and very dangerous in the long term. We, as matured, sensitive and sensible individuals, need to have the discipline, the power, and the self-control to be able to manage and control our own emotions, and we can't depend on drugs for just short-term pleasurable solutions and short-term boosts of happiness. Very well spoken, sir. Very valuable knowledge points and insights shared by you today on our CVR English platform. Sir, आपका एक बार फिर से धन्यवाद करना चाहूंगी. I would like to thank you once again for taking out time from your busy schedule and joining us today.
Last one sentence, madam.
Yes, sir.
India is the cradle of human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of tradition, and the great-grandmother of legend. The most valuable and instructive materials of the mankind are treasured up from Indian culture only. 1 out of 7 people living in the world is an Indian. Be proud of being an Indian. We the Indians are great. Mera Bharat Mahan, my great India, na Mahannata Bharatam. Akhand Bharat hamara hai.
And that makes me say Jai Hind. We are proud Indians. We should be proud of our heritage and our culture and our country. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on that positive note. I would like to thank you on behalf of CVR English, and we shall continue these beautiful conversations with you in the future as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Shri Badrinath ji sharing his invaluable experience and insights on how to ensure effective waste management and raising awareness on cyber fraud and drug consumption with us. And that brings us to the close of this particular episode of Power Talk. I shall meet you once again 7 p.m. tomorrow. Until then, Jai Hind, Namaskar, and keep watching CVR English.